What's going on, traders? It's Ricky with TechBot Solutions. So just another recap on today's trading. It's currently 12:50 Mountain Standard Time, and overall the day's going pretty well. We ended up jumping in a couple different stocks, and the group chat, as always, is pretty active within our group. Good amount of volume, just sharing best practices and sharing mistakes in an effort to expose one another to good opportunity. So let's go ahead and get right into it. I ended up trading a total of 2 different stocks today. That was FTR and CERU. Ended up jumping into CERU, which I brought in a good amount of profit, $187. FTR ended up stop lossing out. I had a plan for FTR, and pretty much if I do this 2-day analysis, pretty much I want you guys to see my whole thought process. I want you guys to see if you guys see what I see. So if that makes sense. So pretty much FTR was coming on downward trend. Again, as a day trader, you want to catch it at the bounce and ride it up. Yesterday, it caught at $2, although it did jump all the way down to $195. A smart way of buying FTR would have been you identify the support at $2. It goes below the support at $195, touches that, and then goes above $2. Right, breaks above the support again, and then continues to rise, showing signs of upward momentum. So it's showing a solid bounce. That's usually what I like to wait for. I like to identify support, see if it bounces, and when it starts to show upward momentum, like with this EMA line, you can jump on in. And then obviously there being a previous support at 210, you can identify that as a resistance point, so a good sell point. So we identify a good buy point around $2, a good sell point around 210. Not bad. 5% profit. What's your risk, right? If you're going in with, let's say, $1,000, what's your risk? Well, if I wait for the bounce at $2 and I wait for it to go back up, I'm going to try to get in around $2 to $2.01. With that, I can set a stop loss, anything below $2. Although it does have this margin, I don't want to ride it down and lose 5 cents, because that's 2.5%. Although I can, I really don't want to do so. Overall, what I would suggest is to ultimately cut losses below 195, as that is the 52-week low. But again, my whole game plan was I identified the support here at $2, the resistance at 210. So that's what I identified, a good buy point and a good sell point. And right away, in a sense, right as the market opened, it was going on a downward trend. So what did I do? Again, my job with TechBot Solutions is I send out, what I find to have potential, and then I allow the team to perform their own technical analysis to see if they can identify potential. So I shouted this one out, said I identified the support at $2, resistance at 210. I was waiting for the bounce, and although I could have caught it at 196, I wanted it to bounce first. A couple traders did end up jumping into it, ended up hitting highs of 203. I ended up getting in at $2 because I wanted to make sure that it could hold above $2. Again, it's not about getting at the lowest point for me, is I want to make sure that I catch it when it's seen or showing signs of upward momentum. I did catch it when it was showing signs of upward momentum, but the volume was very low, as you guys can see right here. I'm going to get a little bit closer just to make it easier for you guys to see. Ended up hitting highs of 203, really stayed around 201, 202, and then started going back down. Again, to minimize loss, I put my stop loss at 1.99. And then with that, I cut my losses short, didn't lose much, ended up dropping all the way down here, broke the support at 196, and is now at the previous support at 195. And this is a very common thing. When you see sudden drops like you do right here with FTR, usually, there it can kind of stay stagnant, kind of how I did here, and then it slowly bleeds down to, in a sense, create the support or stronger support around 195. So we could see a bounce at 195, but this EMA line is still showing signs of a downward trend. Although this RSI does show, a buy type of just indicator, I don't really think it's there, because I think what they sudden drop below the support, there could be a lot of volume, and I might not be able to stop loss out. But another plan that I can have is buying at 195, try to stop loss out at 1.9499, meaning that I minimize my loss, and I try to sell it again at $2 or at $2.03. And if the volume is just right, maybe we can push on through all the way to $2.10. So again, seeing the potential, setting up a plan, and minimizing loss. So I know I can stop loss out because I identified this as a strong support as it's holding, and I see the potential, and it makes sense, right? It's realistic. This is all within one day. But that's my analysis on FTR. So hopefully you guys found that easy to understand. Another great one, although I didn't jump into it, I did shout it out. I'm in California right now, and I'm really busy. So again, one of the things I talked about yesterday is don't jump into a stock without being 100%. DRYS shows a really strong support within the previous 5 days at 130. So what does that mean? It means that it tends to bounce very well around 130. So again, an indication that that's a good buy point, and it has a good resistance, as you can see here, 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 and here. That it has a good resistance, a good sell point around 140. It does have sometimes, it does squeeze on over to 144, 1, 2, 3, and then 4 today. But again, not always. So to not be greedy, what can you set? Is okay, well, be patient. Let's wait for DRYS to come back to its support at 130, which it did. Set a stop loss right below 130 to minimize loss. So you can set it at 1.299, minimizing loss. And again, this is just what I'm doing. Does not in no way mean that you have to do this. And I'm 100%, you guys have to develop your own strategy of trading. This is just something that's helped me. I minimize loss with less than 1 cent at risk. So less than 1 cent at risk, a potential from 130 to 140. So again, 10 cents of potential profit, nearly my 10%. And possibly, if you guys really want to follow with the trailing stop loss, possibly up to 144, which is ideally your 10% profit overall. So how realistic is this? Well, based on the previous trends as of the last 5 days, it's done this once, and it's come down there twice. So it's been within that area twice within the past 5 days. So it's very realistic, right? Minimizing loss, setting a plan, identifying the support and resistance, again, a good buy point, a good sell point, and minimizing your risk, cutting losses short. That is what's going to lead to your success. And again, it's just a simple concept and strategy that I've developed, and it's been very helpful for our members within TechBud Solutions. Those that tend to break it and end up holding a penny stock overnight, or end up not cutting losses short enough, and just because they don't want to use their day trade, end up losing a lot more, and it takes them a lot longer to make up that money, rather than just being disciplined, stick to your plan, and stay consistent. And that's really just it. But didn't end up trading that stock. Where am I? CERU. So CERU had a huge drop this morning during pre-market. Went through a news conference, was talking about a buyout. Had a huge drop, nearly down 35%, 34% now. It's right now around 73 cents. But as it came down, one of my videos was like why I love chasing red stocks. Is because I think that they have usually the most potential. But again, they are very volatile, which means that they see a lot of volume, which can be very risky. So I want you guys to focus here. I'm going to do a one-day analysis, and pretty much as it was coming down, we wanted to identify the bounce, and it bounced originally here at it bounced at 75 cents, came back up, and was holding above 80 cents. I bought in at 80 cents, and I set a stop loss at 0.799. Again, minimizing my risk. My plan was, because I knew there was a resistance, and I'm going to try to get a little bit closer, at 85 cents, and I shouted this out to the team as I was going. I told them where I was buying in, I told them where I was going to try to sell, and I knew where I was going to cut my losses. Again, setting up a plan that minimizes my risk and sees potential. So from 80 to 85, that's nearly 10%, and that's ideally what I did. Me and my cousin that I was trading with in the morning ended up jumping in at 80 cents and saw that there was a resistance at 85. Right as it popped above 85, it didn't hold very well. So what did I do? Is I set a stop loss at 0.8499, meaning that if it goes below 85 cents, then my stop loss will trigger. Again, locking in my profits, so not being greedy, right? So yes, it has potential to make it all the way up, but realistically, what might happen? It's most likely going to continue to drop, and that's what it did. Locked in my profit to 187. Not a bad day, right? For a couple minutes of trading, setting up a plan, minimizing risk. Yeah, I did have a risk of it to continue to drop when I bought in at 80 cents, but realistically, my risk was a lot lower or a lot less than my potential for growth. And that's the whole point of trading stocks, is managing these risks. It's continued to drop, and it hasn't seen decent spikes up, and because of that, this EMA line just continues to show downward momentum. So overall, I think CRU does have potential for these nice little bounces, but I think because of this huge drop, it's seen a lot of just downward trend and a lot of just people that are wanting to sell. So they're stressing out, and they're just selling because they don't want to hold, and that's totally okay. But we just have to let CRU to settle, and to relax a little bit, and then we'll start to be able to ride it up and down and identify the support and resistance a little bit better when there aren't all these panic sellers going on. So that is pretty much my analysis for the two stocks that I traded today and DRYS. JDST is also one that did very well today. We called the support at $13, $13.50 today, and ended up hitting highs of $15.21, and it hit that high twice. Came back down and then hit it twice. And it's just, again, there's another one that ended up doing very well. FNCX saw 30% profit. Not too sure where it's at right now. Right now it's right around 30%. This one that we've been following that has continuously had a downward trend. But again, it's all about being patient, seeing where it bounces, where it truly flatlines, which is around 50 cents within the past couple of days, and then identifying that bounce. It's about being patient, setting up a plan, minimizing risk, and promoting growth. And again, sharing your best practices. So that's the whole point of TechBit Solutions. That's why I think we do so well, because not only do we share best practices and try to help one another out, but it's a very welcoming community that we try to really help one another as much as we can, and we try to filter out spam and any of those false just users that just want to help or just want to benefit themselves. So overall, I want to thank you guys again for tuning in. If you guys have any questions, you guys know how to reach out to me. TechBit Solutions is a free group that you can join. The link is provided for you down below. If you have ever wanted to get into trading stocks or learn a little bit more about investing, this is the group to do so. It is a free group. Again, like I said, once you get accepted into the group, there is these series of group chats that you have access to joining, and you can join all of them or just the selected amount that you think you would like to be a part of. I do want to thank you guys all for everything that you do, and if you guys can subscribe, we'd greatly appreciate it. We do have a series of helpful videos that can better assist you in your success when it comes to getting a better understanding of investing. Thank you guys again, and I hope you guys have an amazing week. Let's make sure that we end this day on a green note. Take care, guys. Baby, don't you let it go to waste.